Hey guys, what's up? Nice Phoenix here, bringing you guys my pure PSY-Frames deck profile. So, I didn't really understand it at first, like I do with some decks, but once I spent some time with it, I'm not gonna lie, it quickly became, I'd say, one of my favorites. It's a little underplayed in my opinion. I see tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of decks splashing, not even the engine, just literally PSY-Frame Omega. But I don't think I've ever seen a build of it in a while, and definitely not a pure build like this. So let's just go ahead and hop change it. First off, we have 3 copies of PSY-Frame Driver. This is like, he's not your boss monster of the deck, but he's basically your most important piece, because without him, well, not your most important piece, but without him, most of your combos aren't gonna go through. If this guy is banished, you're pretty much, you're not doing too well. This entire deck is basically based on interruptions. Well, not even this deck. This entire archetype is based off interrupt. They have interruptions for everything, but we'll get into that in a little bit. It has to be one of the best interruption archetypes I think there is, as long as Yu-Gi-Oh has been out. But I could be wrong, but I think, I mean, to me, this entire archetype is hand traps. But move on. We have 3 copies of PSY-Frame Gear Alpha. Pretty much all these cards, except for PSY-Frame Driver, cannot be normal summoned or set, and they can only be special summoned by their own effects, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When your opponent normal or special summons a monster while you control normal monsters, except during the damage step, you can special summon both this card and 1 copy of PSY-Frame Driver from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And if you do, add 1 PSY-Frame in its name card from your deck to your hand, except this card. And during the end phase, banish this face-up monster or monsters. Banish the face-up monster, special summoned by this effect. It's very, very, very important that you are running your PSY-Frame circuit. I went so far as to triple terraforming and triple PSY-Frame circuit, because you need this out on the field pretty much at all times. That could be just me, but that's how I feel about it. Now there's 2 main weaknesses to this deck. Without PSY-Frame circuit, you're screwed. I mean, having no circuit on the field is worse than not having any drivers, because you're just absolutely 100% screwed up, down, left, and right, and in a corner. Just all shades of trouble. The second biggest weakness is, as cool as it is, it's a reactive deck, meaning that you don't get to just kind of play the deck as you would a normal deck. You kind of have to react to your opponent, and in that sense it's a little slow, but I still think overall it's a really good deck. So each PSY-Frame Gear card has their own, I guess you could call it purpose, their own specialty, their own field. This one reacts normal and special summons, and the next one, PSY-Frame Gear Beta, reacts to the declaration of a direct attack. Also, you can't have any other monsters on your field, which is why it's so important that you have circuit, that way you're always going to get something. Which I guess is what makes this splashable if you really wanted it to, but... next up I'm running PSY-Frame Gear Beta, and 3 copies of PSY-Frame Gear Beta. Cannot be normal summoned set, can't be special summoned except for its own card effect, cannot be special summoned by other ways. When your opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon both this card and one copy of PSY-Frame Driver from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And if you do, destroy the attacking monster then in the battle phase. And then during the end phase, banish this face-up monster special summon with this effect. So, Alpha reacts to normal special summons, Beta reacts to direct attacks, and now we're moving on to PSY-Frame Gear Gamma. 3 copies of him. He is what reacts to monster effects. So he's pretty important. And we'll get into why that is. So first of all, it's the same standard stuff. Can't be normal summon set, can't be special summon except by its own effect, can't be special summon in other ways. During either player's turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, while you control the monsters, you can special summon with this one card and one PSY-Frame Driver from your hand, deck, or graveyard. If you do, negate that activation, and if you do, destroy that monster, and then of course he banishes the face-up cards. So now you have Beta that negates and destroys attack on monsters and into battle phase, so it's a negate attack in that sense. Then you have Gamma, who nullifies monster effects and pops them. And there's some pretty fun interactions when you're running this card with others, like against Crystal Wing, and it's just a negate party. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're aware of what Crystal Wing does, you'll know what I mean. Moving on, 3 copies of PSY-Frame Gear Delta. Of course, it's the same standard stuff, and during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell card or you control the monster, special summon this card from your hand. If you do, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that spell card. And of course, it's got the same with the other abilities. And then moving on, we have 3 copies of PSY-Frame Gear Epsilon. And this one is triggered when your opponent activates a trap card. You control monsters. You can special summon this card from your hand with PSY-Frame Driver. And if you do, if you do, negate that activation. And if you do, destroy that trap card. Now I do have one more playset on monsters, but that's not too important. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong, that's why it's in the deck, but not as important as just making sure you guys understand everything. So, PSY-Frame Gear Alpha, quick recap of all the PSY-Frame monsters. PSY-Frame Gear Alpha reacts to normal or special summons. Beta reacts to direct attacks. Gamma reacts to monster effects. Delta reacts to spell cards. And Epsilon reacts to trap cards. Now, moving on, we have 3 copies of PSY-Frame Gear Multi-Threader. Now, I don't understand why this card isn't used more often, but maybe it's because it's not completely a pure deck, but I think this card's amazing. So this card becomes PSY-Frame Driver, what's in the hand or graveyard. If a PSY-Frame card or cards you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can discard this card instead. Now, if a PSY-Frame Tuner monster in its name is special summon to your field while you close cards in your graveyard, except during the damage check, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. And you can only use this effect on PSY-Frame Multi-Threader once per turn. Basically, rather than just having 3 drivers, this gives you 6, because he is counted as both in hand and in grave, and has an additional effect in grave, so that's just really, really, really good. I mean, it is. I mean, it's great. And that will end it for our monster lineup. Moving on to the spell lineup, we have not too many, actually. We have 3 copies of Terraforming and 3 copies of PSY-Frame Gear Circuit. PSY-Frame Circuit. That's really the only spells we need here. PSY-Frame Circuit is what starts our plays. This is the most important card in the deck, because without it, the deck can't function like it should. If a Psy-Frame and its named monster is special summoned to your side, or monsters are special summoned to your side of the field, except during the damage step, you can, immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using only Psy-Frame and its named monster you control, and at the start of the damage step, if a Psy-Frame and its named monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can discard one Psy-Frame and its named monster, and then your battling monster gains attack points equal to the discarded monster's attack points until the end of this turn. The best way I can put this is you discard your Psy-Frame driver, and it gains 2,500. If not that, fine. Just get rid of your Epsilon, and if not Epsilon, I guess Delta. Also, a cool little bit of pop trivia here is that Psy-Frame Driver has 2,500 now, and Multi-Threader has 0 and 2,500. Now, you could discard Multi-Threader, but that doesn't work too well since it would just get 0 attack. So you're mainly gonna want to discard Psy-Frame Driver and use Multi-Threader as a substitute for the ones that would be your original Psy-Frame Drivers. Moving on to the trap lineup, because that will finish off our spells. We have one copy of Bottomless Trap Hole, just because Floodgates. 3 copies of Psy-Frame Accelerator. Once per turn, you can pay 5 life points and target one Psy-Frame monster you control, banish it onto your next standby phase. Once per turn, if you face up Psy-Frame card you control, use healed except during the damage step, you can special summon one Psy-Frame and its name monster from your hand. It's not the best card in the deck, but it does kind of protect your monster if you already know you're in a bad position. It protects your monster from being destroyed. But anyway, moving on to probably the best trap card in the deck, and certainly the best trap card in the archetype. We're running 3 copies of Psy-Frame Overload. This card is insane. Once per turn, you can banish one Psy-Frame and its name monster from your hand, or face up from your side of the field. Then target one card on the field and banish it face down. During the other player's turn, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard and add one Psy-Frame and its name card from your deck to your hand except this card. Literally any Psy-Frame card. You can search out Circuit, you can search out your other Psy-Frame trap card, you can search out any of your other pieces that you need, and just the spot removal on this is insane. I mean, now we've moved away from monsters not being targetable. Now it's monsters that can't be destroyed. That's fine, they don't care, they'll just banish it. They'll banish it into its bedroom for all eternity. They don't care. I mean, they don't. And finally, to finish off the trap lineup, we have 3 copies of Solemn Striker, 3 copies of Great Mirror Force. You know, it's just standard staple cards. And for the extra deck, triple Psy-Frame Lord Zeta. What I like too is that these guys, even the synchro monsters, have their own thing. Psy-Frame Lord Zeta banishes cards that are already on the field, like monsters on the field. And Omega targets the cards in their hand that have yet to be played. Now, Psy-Frame Lord Zeta. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls in face-up attack position. Banish both that monster and this card from the field, but return them in your next standby phase. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one other Psy-Frame and same card in your graveyard, return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, add that card to your hand. Basically, to make it to where you have an infinite supply of synchro monsters. And finally, we have Psy-Frame Lord Omega. I really shouldn't explain what this guy does because it's so stable now, but once per turn during the main phase, click effect, you can match with this face-up card from the field or one random card from your opponent's hand, face up until your next standby phase. Which return any recurrent standby face and target one banished card, return it to your graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one other card in the graveyard, shuffle both that card and this card from your graveyard into the deck. With that being said, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been your host, Mr. Phoenix, signing out. See you guys next time. Have a good one.